stream that horrified a nation. Diamond Reynolds filming the aftermath of a shooting involving her boyfriend, Philando Castile, hit several times by a police officer in Minnesota.
So he's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know.
Now, police dash cam video released just this week, shedding new light on the moments leading up to that shooting. That's when Castile reveals he has a gun, which he had a license to carry. About 40 seconds after approaching the car, Officer Geronimo Yanez opens fire.
Sir, I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me.
Don't reach for it, then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
He fired a total of 7 rounds into the car. But what's not seen in either video is what Castile was actually reaching for. Officer Yanez's defense team says he feared Castile was reaching for that gun.
I told him not to reach for it, and then he kept it right there, and I told him to take his hands off of it, and then he had his grip a lot wider than a wallet.
Last week, a jury acquitted Yanez on charges of manslaughter and 2 counts of endangering Castile's girlfriend and her young child, who was in the back seat at the time of the shooting. The verdict left a community reeling. This is Philando Castile's mother.
And I am so very, 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 very disappointed in the system here in the state of Minnesota. In this city, kill my son, and the murderer gets away.
This latest verdict adds to the list of recent high-profile fatal encounters, such as the ones involving Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, and Terrence Crutcher, where cops were either acquitted or not brought to trial at all, renewing the national debate about how the justice system handles cases like these, and stoking long simmering tensions between police and the communities they serve.
When these communities are seeing these videotapes over and over and over again, I think there's a real sense of powerlessness.
According to a report in the New York Times, of the 15 recent high-profile cases involving deaths of African Americans, only 2 have ended with a conviction or guilty plea of the police officers involved.
By and large, when you have an officer who is telling the jury that he felt in danger for his life, it is very difficult to overcome that kind of testimony. And so we found, prosecutors find that those cases are very, very difficult to prove. They're very, very difficult to convict. The standard is about what the officer perceives. That is very different from a layperson shooting a gun.
Things happen so quickly in some of these interactions that officers are just so tense and cautious and really on alert anytime they stop a car on traffic.
Tonight we spoke with former Dallas Police Chief David Brown about what he saw on that dash cam video. Walk me through what you see on the videotape.
It's very stark that the officer exhibited poor tactics in the way he approached the car. He walks right up, gets within very close proximity to the car. He stands right in front of the car door. All Castile had to do if he was intending on harming the officer was open the door and push him back and knock him off balance, then draw his gun and do whatever he wanted to do. That is not what happens.
And so just to be clear, you think the subsequent shooting was a dramatic overreaction?
Yes, and I believe, given that the department terminated the officer Yanez, after the ruling of acquittal, I think supports that this officer is not suited to continue on the force. Those bullets could have passed through Mr. Castile, hit the kid, hit the girlfriend. It's just total recklessness in using your firearm.
He says the key to avoiding these situations going forward is training. Something we saw on stark display when we went on patrol with officers in Richmond, California.
Lots of people carry around, usually more firepower than the police.
It's a small city with a big gun problem. During our ride-along,
Close the door.
a routine traffic stop turned into an armed standoff.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Firearm.
The driver had a gun in plain view and within reach.
Hands up! Don't move. If you move, you're going to get shot. Do you understand?
At first, the driver was not complying.
Keep your hand right there.
The driver finally put his hands on the steering wheel away from the gun, but the two cops were outnumbered by the 4 men inside the car, and there was no telling whether the passengers were armed as well.
Keep your hands on the headrest. Hands on the headrest.
Officer Ben Terrio made a move.
Put a beat on him.
Holstering his gun, he disarmed the driver. Turned out there was a second gun in the back seat. Officer Terrio said he had legal justification to shoot because there was a gun within the driver's reach, and at first he wasn't complying, but he chose not to.
Keep your hands up, man. Hands up.
Difference is, I've been in this situation so many times. You know, if he was to reach for the gun just a little bit more, that's it. I can't wait anymore. Training is probably the most key part of why that went down the way it did.
More often than in many police departments, all officers here in Richmond are required to go through training like this. They do it every few months. The purpose of this role play? To put officers in scenarios like traffic stops.
What's your first name? It's Orlando.
Where they have to assess a situation and make split-second decisions that could mean life or death for themselves or for the driver. Protocol? Try to de-escalate the situation using words.
Keep them on the steering wheel, don't move.
They are trained to be transparent about what they are doing and why.
I just need to see your hands, buddy. Show me your hands. On my hands.
While also being vigilant about signs of a threat like a gun.
Going in.
And when necessary, they're told do not hesitate to use their own gun.
Go down to your knees.
Maybe getting the guy to start talking about what his problem is, right? What's your name? What's going on? How can I help you?
As the cop is approaching, you have to realize he doesn't know what's coming.
Motivated by the live stream video in the aftermath of the Philando Castile shooting, Cafe Anderson, a biracial country music singer, decided to make this video showing exactly what he says drivers can do to diffuse tension at traffic stops and keep everybody, including the police, calm.
You have to have your ID pulled out before the cop gets there. My car was completely turned off. The radio is all the way down, and I'm facing forward. Both of my hands are here with my fingers out.
The video went viral.
At the end of the day, the policeman wants to go home safely. We want to get home safely. Even if the cop is having a bad day, you have to go home.
But not all the feedback has been positive.
It says, doesn't this contribute to the blaming the victim? And my response was, I hope it doesn't. I pray that it helps defuse the tension between police and drivers when a traffic stop occurs.
In the aftermath of the verdict in the Philando Castile case, tensions across this country are higher than ever, and so are the stakes.
If we come here with no weapons, why do y'all have stakes?
Lives are on the line every day, whether cop or civilian. Next year, we're going to shift gears in...
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Why don't they take all violence out of movies, out of TV? They got a fucking show that's called How to Get Away with Murder. How the fuck can people forget violence if it's surround them on TV? The war hero is the one that's the violent one and everything like that. As long as you got shit like that, and people have got on their minds violence and everything like that. And here's the thing. Why aren't there instructions in every car that's automatically put on there that says, this is what you do anytime that you're approached by a cop? That could be in every car. So therefore, it could be the manufacturer that puts it on there. What you do, you put your hands on the steering wheel. You don't move your hands or anything like that. And the thing is, this is when this is done, you're going to less likely to have shootings going on and everything like that. Not only that, hey, if they got GoPro cameras that people can put on their helmets, why the fuck can't cops have that? It should be by law. Every cop should have to have a body cam on them, a fisheye lens, and then a regular one. And the reason for the fisheye lenses is that it can be seen from like 180 degrees. And then through computers, they could take that fisheye lens and they could make it to where it's a regular picture. not only that, they could have it to where cops are told, if you're right, we'll back you. If you're wrong, we'll bury you. It's very simple. Send the message out to the cops that, and then also make it to where a cop is told, if you are caught lying, if you are caught escalating a situation, you're automatically going to be fired. And you might be prosecuted on top of that. Or why do they have laws just like in the state of Florida? There's a Florida statute 918.13 that specifically states to alter, conceal, or to destroy an official investigation is a felony. It says anybody. It doesn't say anything about we make an exception for cops or anything like that. No. It specifically states there that it is a felony. So why isn't that right there? Why isn't that right there? Automatically something to where people are told if you happen to now look at this. Hopefully I can get this right here. Okay. This is showing right here, look. See that right there? It is common for a cop, says here, no person knowing that a criminal trial or proceeding or investigation by a duly constituted prosecuting attorney, law enforcement agency, grand jury, or legislative committee of the state is pending or is about to be instituted shall alter, conceal, destroy, or remove any record, document, or thing with the that impairs its ability of such proceeding or investigation. Make, present, or any record, document, or anything knowing it to be false. Any person who violates this provision shall be guilty of a felony of the third degree, as provided 775-082, 775-083, 775-084. But the thing is how come they don't put in there that a cop shall include all and shall not in any way conceal anything and allow any accused the right to be able to write down their side, have witnesses, and that they shall record everything. So why isn't that done? In my case, June 9th, 2017, I was stopped at the Walmart accused of stealing carts. Well, no, I wasn't stealing carts, but the cop wouldn't allow me to know who's the one that accused me and wouldn't even allow me to write down my side and have it forwarded. See that right there? That applies to the cops. That's right.